Suits LA persevered with its most recent episode in spite of the disappointing announcement this week that the program will not be renewed for a second season. One of the most recognizable figures from the original Suits series appears in Angry Sylvester, the 12th episode of Season 1. Returning to the role of Louis Litt, a lawyer famous for his short fuse, is Rick Hoffman. Angry Sylvester matches Louis with Stuart Lane, who plays his Suits LA equivalent. Louis and Stuart manage to quarrel once again within the retreat, but Stuart finds Louis and apologizes for his actions after the session. Louis says that his outburst was caused by the lawyer he assaulted calling his cat a horrible name. Then, as Stuart enjoyed taking mud baths in Suits, Louis chooses to take him there. As they prepare for the bath, Louis relates how his former partner Harvey Specter helped him get through a mugging he had a few years prior. Stuart says he knows Harvey, which makes Stuart envious as he prepares to call Harvey. However, Stuart and Louis decide to become friends in the bathtub and will do whatever to support one another. Rick assists and impresses an actor. Rick phones Leah Power at the beginning of the show, and she sends him screenplays using the fictitious name Ezra Bridger. Rick requests that Leah set up a meeting with Ezra since he likes one of the scripts. Rick chooses to dance to Footloose following the phone call because it's early in the morning and nobody is at work. Dylan, played by Victoria Justice, interrupts him. She read Larry McMurtry's books with her mother, therefore she shares with him her passion project, a cinematic adaptation of a Western novel. Rick visits the lot and meets Melissa Johnson, a producer. Rick wants Melissa to cast Dylan in the Larry McMurtry adaptation she is working on. Dylan has never performed a Western, so Melissa declines. Leah is forced to acknowledge that she is Ezra Bridger and that she has finished writing when Rick phones her again and asks if she can persuade Ezra to write a Western for Dylan. Dylan enters as Rick hangs up and breaks the awful news to her. Rick vows to arrange her an audition, even if it's not for Melissa, during their supper together. Since Ted represents Oscar-winning filmmaker Sean Baker, who is slated to helm the adaptation, Rick gives him a call. They manage to get Dylan an audition after some persuasion. Dylan then approaches Rick and tells him she got cast and wants to celebrate with him. Rick declares he can't do this and flees, presumably still not over Erica. Ted finds it hard to keep his firm. Ted looks at a photo of himself and Eddie at a baseball game to start his day. "Do you know what today is?" Eddie's ghost then asks him. Eddie's favorite day was the anniversary of that baseball game. Ted discovers Samantha at the door when the doorbell rings. She brought soft pretzels to lift Ted's spirits after remembering the day. Ted informs her that if Eddie had been living today, his age would have been 44. Ted and Erica discuss bonuses at work, and Erica mentions that she is going to sign Nicole Kidman. Erica says the actor is considering switching firms, while Ted claims that's Samantha's client. Ted claims that since they are now at last friendly with Railsback Lane, he does not want Erica to steal business. He alerts Samantha of Erica's intention to steal her client. Samantha is able to land her customer when Rick advises her to beat Erica to Nicole Kidman. Erica and Leah discuss how they feel underappreciated when Ted undermines them, which motivates Erica to approach Ted. He calls Stuart to express regret for their previous relationship and apologizes for being a lousy partner. Even though he still dislikes speaking with Leah, he eventually grants her an office. Although everyone at Ted's company is content right now, Ted wasn't always this way. In the episode's flashbacks, his father, who is finally identified as Edward Brooks, is found guilty of stock manipulation by a judge. Eddie wants to read a statement about his father, which basically states that although Edward hasn't been a great father, Eddie still loves him, so Ted takes him to court. The judge gives Edward a 3-year prison term after Eddie reads his statement. The show's last flashback plot may be set up when Edward asks Ted and Eddie if the three of them can have dinner together before he leaves for prison.